guys, Cat Demon 43 and back with another episode of The Ladder. In the last episode, the ghost decided to stalk us outside of the mansion. So you know what that means. Endgame soon for Isabella, probably. It's gonna suck. Anyway, here, with only the occasional drips of water on the sink and the whirring of the fan blades to keep me company, it's easy to fall into a cycle of negative thinking. But even with the clutter to keep me company, the room still feels a whole lot bigger than usual. I hug my knees closer as a group passes by outside. Loud. So loud. If only there was a way to tune everything out, to keep my head from replaying every image, every sound of her. Her screams, her awkward gait as she reaches for me, her bone-chilling smile, her pleas for enough. That's enough. A shiver passes over me, though it's not from the hair still hanging damp against my back, nor the draft that enters the room from the windows I've left wide open. Stupid freaking letter. My gaze shifts to the letter sitting on the coffee table. Its edges flutter unconsciously as the wind touches it. Funny how an ordinary-looking piece of paper can bring this much trouble. The impulse to throw it away or rip it into pieces is still there. I can easily do it. But after that, what? Will she leave me? What about those people who have already seen it? Will they be okay? This uncertainty gnaws at me. Knowing that she's real and she might alone go after the people I care about. I just wish someone would listen. Believe me. Oh. The abrupt break in the silence nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Blindly, I fish out my phone from under the mess of papers and cushions where I've carelessly thrown it before taking a shower hours ago. Oh, it's Ash. Ash's name flashes brightly on the screen. Is he calling him because of this afternoon?
Thank you so much for spamming my inbox, scaredy cat.
Hey, Ash.
Aw.
What's wrong?
I just had a long day. The couple who bought the house wanted us to finish processing the papers within the week. It's a little hectic, but we'll manage.
Really? You sold it?
Don't sound so surprised. I told you, you don't stand a chance. The rights won't take no for an answer. You've been on the losing end from the very start. Ha!
Whoever said I was interested in the house in the first place?
But you said...
Despite his light tone, his snicker only comes off as annoying to my ears. I have to fight the urge to end the call right then and there. Stupid Ash.
You're such an ass. And just so you know, I'm not treating you to a separate celebration. Or ever.
No, that's just unfair. And here I was looking something up for you. Didn't you say you wanted to talk to Andrew?
I pause. I did say that, but I didn't think he'd actually go through with the trouble, considering how much he scoffed at the whole topic in the first place.
Is he okay with that?
Totally. Besides, I need to ask him about something. I might as well do it soon. What do you say you come with me tomorrow morning?
Well, there's no harm in it, I suppose. I've got a free day anyway.
Great, I'll just pick you up. Don't oversleep.
Don't compare me to you. I'm not the one who sleeps like a rock.
Another round of chuckles come from him. Oh, I will live for the day he'll stop making fun of me. Just you wait, you asshole. As I'm about to end the call, he clears his throat.
And, Isabella?
His sudden different tone sends my eyebrows shooting up into my hairline. Is the world ending today?
Yeah? Did you forget something?
Do you think we...
Aw, yeah, you do like her. Aw, you're cute.
Never mind. Good night.
Oh, he hangs up instantly. Rude. Completely rude. I didn't even get to thank him. The busy tone, though muffled, echoes through the receiver. No one is saying this will work. Even I'm doubtful it will. But right now, I'll take anything. Anything to get out of this nightmare. Sleep comes easier tonight. Ashton Frey reminded Isabella Santos of their meeting with Professor Andrew Clark tomorrow, a respected professor with a doctorate degree of psychology, as a former researcher specializing in ethnography and psychology. Ashton assured that his friend can help with her worries regarding the mansion's rumors. And for the first time in a long time, I dream of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, of a small, cramped dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint a pretty picture. However, this is home to me. Sunday. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day. Although the air feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends when I'm up even before my alarm rings. If it wasn't for Ash's call last night, I'd probably sleep in. When 9 a.m. rolls around, I'm already heading downstairs when Ash is waiting for me at his car. His hair a disheveled mess, eyes drowsy, and overall looking like he hurried to get out of bed. Or fell out of it. Or both. He looks adorably rumpled this way, but I'm not going to tell him that. It'd only bloat his unbearable ego.
Good morning, Ash!
He makes a motion with his finger around his ear. Tone it down.
Can you even drive?
He answers me with a slight raise of his hand, a yawn, and nothing more. He has never been particularly fond of mornings, and for that I'm thankful to every god in the universe, less mental capacity for him to make fun of me. Ha! There's the reason why mornings are my favorite. It doesn't take long for us to reach our destination, a small cafe situated in Luxbourne's busiest street. The same one I'd often visit with Becca for its cheap food. I've never gone here on a Sunday, and it's striking how different it appears without the usual weekday and Saturday rush. The atmosphere especially reminds me of something we also have back home, near the university I used to attend. I wonder what happened to it. It was being renovated before I left, so I never got to visit one last time. The place has always had a calming effect on me. But today, despite standing in a place similar to it, anxiety easily washes over me as soon as I step out of the car. I'm quite used to dealing with people I've never met before, thanks to my work. But still, I don't know him. In spite of the fact both Ash and Becca have vouched for him, what will he think of me and my story? What if he thinks I'm crazy? Hell, even my own friends thought so. I draw in a breath to quell the panic beginning to rise in me. Oh well, only one way to find out. A few hesitant steps forward, and then Ash suddenly pulling me back by my elbow.
Hold on, scaredy cat, not too fast.
Without warning, he flicks my forehead, hard.
That hurts! What was that for?
He's already walking away when I look up, and I hurry to catch up to him, puzzled. I really don't understand this guy. At least explain why you're flicking other people's foreheads all of a sudden. Yeah, what are you, Itachi? So rude.
Get yourself together, will you? He's not going to bite. He's very accommodating, too.
I wasn't scared of him or anything.
You don't look like it. Didn't sound like you were okay last night either.
Huh?
What was that last one?
How do you know? Dude? Is there something you're not telling me?
Hey! Don't just ignore me!
All questions and retorts die on my mouth once he opens the door to the shop. A cast iron bell attached to its chime softly announces our arrival. The smell of freshly brewed coffee welcomes us as soon as we step in. The Like usual, several tables and chairs have been set up for the patrons, but most of the customers have foregone them in favor of the more comfortable throw pillows and bean bags the staff had laid out on the floor. Becca would love to know they have something like this on Sundays. She'd been complaining how uncomfortable the library chairs are for a long time now. Ash leads me to a secluded spot near the window where an old man, probably in his 50s or 60s, is seated, enjoying a brew and a book.
Professor Clark.
It's just Andrew now. I'm no longer your professor, Detective Inspector Frey.
The guy, Andrew, looks up from his book and gives him a smile. A sheepish look crosses Ash's face and the older man's admonishment. Aw. More unusual, in my opinion, is seeing him appear like a parent. Like a parent has scolded him. Aww. But it suggests a familiarity between them, one that goes beyond what someone expects from a simple student and mentor. With another warm smile, he gestures for us to take the empty seats opposite to him.
Have you been waiting long?
Quite some time. But I come here early on weekends. Best time to get their first serving of bear claws. They're the only place that serves it here.
Bear claws.
I took the liberty of ordering for you two. I hope you don't mind. I thought it'd be best to talk over a decent helping of coffee.
Yes. Soon enough, a waiter brings us 2 more cups and sets down a basket of pastries.
Aren't you going to introduce the lady?
Ah, right. Sorry.
Aw, he seems nice.
Isabella, this is Prof. Andrew. He's one of my professors back at the university. Andrew, this is Isabella Santos.
Santos. Portuguese? Spanish? Brazilian? Mexican?
Filipina, actually. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor.
Ah, your name carries a lot of history, Miss Santos.
It does?
Just Andrew is fine. Don't do what Ashton's doing. He doesn't listen to this old man.
He doesn't listen to anyone, more like. The awkward tension typically present in first meeting dissipates after that. I was expecting someone strict, and to an extent, someone severe. But Professor Andrew Clark is definitely the opposite of what I have in mind. The more personal, kind, similar to a grandfather who dotes on you at family gatherings. It's obvious why Ash has taken a liking to him.
Ashton tells me there's something you wish to discuss that I could help with. Let's hear it then.
Please don't disbelieve me. Please, at least hear me out. I gave Ash a hesitant glance, but he just nods and gestures towards Andrew with his head. He's leaving this to me. It's my story to tell, after all. I keep it short and concise. I found a letter in this old mansion. Now I'm cursed. Exactly as I have told Ash and Zach when they had asked about it. I don't mention the name of the place. No use saying it now that someone else legally owns it. No use dragging other people into my problems.
I'm sure it's that letter I found. But I don't know anymore. I just want to know how to escape this nightmare.
Of course. We're talking about the one in Anslin Village, aren't we?
Oh, you know.
How did you...
Don't look so surprised. There's only one place popular enough here if we're going to talk about hauntings. I once had a colleague who wrote about it and the urban legends surrounding the place. Years worth of study, but fascinating.
Really?
It's a shame he passed away at such a young age. He would have done a much better job at explaining topics like this one compared to me.
Did he die too by the hands of the ghost then? It really makes me wonder when people bring up those either disappearing or died at a young age. It makes me think that, oh, maybe it's connected to the ghost in some way. I just got that feeling. Also, I didn't mention this before, why I decided to go for him rather than the priest, I think. It's because I've always been the type to want to understand the reasoning behind it, behind ghosts and whatnot, rather than just getting a priest to do a blessing, because sometimes in that case, that won't solve anything. It could even just make a spirit angrier. And though I am not of someone who I'm skeptical, but I'm also open-minded to things like this. But whenever it comes to religion and spirits, a lot of the time it just feels like it's not a good mix, and in some cases, doing exorcisms or a blessing on a place could just make things worse. So, yeah. But again, that's just my take on it. I know everyone's got their own takes on how they would probably deal with the situation. But I'd want to just get information as to why this is happening, more than anything else. I want to understand why it's happening to me, or Isabella, so I can figure out what to go from there, kind of.
Ashton here might disagree, but it's an interesting topic in sociology, if you care to have an open mind.
I do.
Studying the science and theory behind it is completely different from outright believing in it.
You don't believe in those stories, sir?
Now, this isn't a question of belief. All I'm saying is things like these speak a lot about a place's culture and history.
That is true. I'm glad I picked him.
And it's not just limited to ghosts. Monsters, gods, you name it. Even you, Miss Santos.
How so?
What about me?
How you respond to these stories. It tells a lot about you and your upbringing. In the same way it tells me why our detective inspector here finds such topics absurd. Interesting, isn't it?
My head is starting to spin from all of this. I'm not the smartest person around, but I understand what he's trying to get at. I think. It's still too much for me to take all at once. I look at Ash for help, but his eyebrows are drawn in a frown. If he keeps staring like that at his cup, I'm pretty sure it'll crack soon.
There's still something you're not telling.
Ah, crap.
Didn't I tell you everything the other day?
Yeah, but you mentioned the rights. Then you proceeded to drop the topic right after. What's with that?
They don't have anything to do with this.
Rights. Luke and Hanna, right?
Yeah, they're the ones who got the place.
Ah, I'm not surprised. They're the kind who gets what they want when they set their eyes on it.
Oh?
From what I've heard, word gets around.
A heavy sigh escapes my lips. Popular or not, they're just my clients. Albeit a little pushy, but just clients. End of story. I wish he'd stop pestering me about them. Oh wow, it went up a lot. What is it again that Becca does when dealing with a particularly difficult child? The pesky, annoying kind? I wish I could remember. I could certainly use the same trick right about now.
Ashton, look here. I know you're trying to help, but the deal's almost already closed. The papers are being prepared. Once it's done, it's over. I'm just their agent.
And when is that happening?
Why do you care?
When what? Is there even a purpose to this line of questioning?
Your working relationship with them. When's it going to end?
About a week from now? It depends on how long the papers will take, but they want us to rush it.
Really? You're absolutely sure about that?
Why are you pushing on it? Are you looking into Luke, right? Oh my gosh, you are, aren't you? That would make sense. Why you were at the mansion, and why you're pushing for us to know, to get answers from us like this. Oh, you, in the case of somebody who got away from something, that is Luke, right, isn't it?
Yes, really. Unless they want to buy a house again and want me and Rose to be their agent. If yes, then I don't see a problem with it. Now stop annoying me about it.
Don't accept it.
What? Why? It's my job.
Oh lord, even my younger siblings aren't this difficult to deal with. Then again, Ash is far from a younger sibling to me. If he'd only spell it out, surely I'd understand. We wouldn't even have to talk about it right now. That's how it is, right? Find an even ground, talk about it like the adults we are. It wasn't like this before. But somewhere along the way, something had changed in us, as people, as friends. I wish there's a way I could tell when or why. Instead, I'm left searching blindly for reasons. The next thing we know, we'll be drifting further and further apart. How frustrating.
Now, kids, settle down. We're not going to solve anything by shouting.
Thank you.
Sorry, Sir Andrew.
Aw.
And we're not going to solve anything either if you keep omitting things.
Speak for yourself. I'm not the only one doing it.
Yeah, you kind of are hiding a lot.
You'll have to forgive my former student, Miss Santos. He's always been the curious kind. Many people think he's lazy, but it's actually the opposite. I see that hasn't changed.
Look.
Really? How is he back when he was your student? I'm sorry, I need to ask. He doesn't talk much about that.
And there's a reason why. Please don't.
Tried to sleep on the first day of class.
Oh, pff.
He didn't repeat it after what I made him do when I caught him. Students like him are the easiest to deal with, once you know what piques their interest. I'd have to say, he's one of the very few who's actually interested in the subject, though. But there was this one time when...
By the end of the conversation, Ash looks like he's praying for the ground to swallow him. He's never been one to talk about himself. What I know about him are mostly bits and pieces I've gleaned over the years. He's an atrocious singer, he's bad at art, and he has a personal vendetta against mornings. Now it feels like he isn't that hard to figure out at all. It's past noon when Andrew has to leave us for another meeting. But before we separate...
Miss Santos, a word of advice. Just keep in mind that when it comes to cases such as this, they aren't always what they seem.
It's true. Naturally, the mansion and the letter was brought up several times during our talk. And though Ash is right, in that Andrew offers a different perspective, he has left me with more questions than answers instead. Crap, what is she? What does she want from me? Is she ever going to leave? They all continue to bug me after we've left the coffee shop. I don't even notice when Ash takes a different turn on our way back.
Where are we going? You can drop me off at the park.
Guess. You have 3 chances.
I'm serious, Ash. Where are we going?
He doesn't answer, but shortly he stops the car in front of a small, nondescript food stall, a little ways away from the movie house. If I wasn't paying closer attention, I would have missed it without a doubt. He motions for me to wait as he gets off the car and walks in its direction. Sheesh, if you want to buy something, just say it. No need to make yourself look mysterious. Makes you look more like a dork than cool. The wait isn't long, however. Soon, he's walking back, holding 2 fish-shaped cones in both hands? Ice cream? Parfait? Cross of the two? By the time he's back inside the car, I've given up any effort to figure out what he's bought. Not that it looks bad, it actually looks quite cute.
Here, take it.
I have to move my head back a little when he thrusts it at me to avoid the ice cream and the fruit topping from ending up on my nose.
What's this for?
Oh my gosh, that looks so good. That looks amazing.
My arm's getting tired. 5, 4, 3, 2.
With a wary glance, I take it off his hands. I still don't understand why there's a need for ice cream today. Nevertheless, I take a small bite. It's actually pretty good. It must have shown on my face, because he chuckles as soon as I take another one.
Saw the place open the other day when we watched Zach's movie. Thought I should give it a try. It doesn't seem like a bad place to get food from time to time.
And you're giving me free ice cream because...
Do I need to have a reason?
Aw.
Are you really going to ask me that?
Here's the thing with Ashton Frey. He does not just treat anyone to free food because he feels like it. He's that much of a Scrooge. Hell, he even asked me to teach him how to haggle once. Haggle! Of all the people who'd ask me that. I'd have expected such requests from Becca, but Ash? Not at all. If I'm going to be honest, he looks a bit constipated with that expression on his face right now. I think he's starting to regret ever buying this.
The other day? The movie with Zach and Rebecca? Rebecca's there, yeah, I think so. Yeah!
So crashing on Isabella.
Anyway, during the movie, that's to say, we... Shit. Should have written down something first.
Get to the point, Ashton.
Right. I'm sorry.
What?
Not I'm sorry for, not getting to the point. I'm sorry for the other day. I got carried away. I said things that upset you. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry.
Aw, okay. You're getting back in my good books, Ash. Slowly.
Oh, okay.
Okay? That's all? That's all you're going to say? You're not still angry, are you?
You didn't have to buy me anything. A simple sorry would have been enough.
I bite into the cone again. A small attempt to keep myself occupied and relieve the heat crawling up my face. It doesn't work, but at least I don't have to look at him. Why am I feeling embarrassed over an apology? I have no idea. It's not like it wasn't called for. They were being mean, especially him, and in that fraction of a second, it hits me. He skipped his day off just for today. I should have been the one apologizing and thanking him. Silence in an awkward company while we finished our respective snacks. There are words for this. For people like us, for understandings and sentiments like this. Yet, in this instant, they won't come out. As promised, he drops me off at the park right after. Phrases unsaid, still hanging heavily in the air. In this weather, the city park gives off a lazier, more languid vibe than usual. Where children are usually seen running around and playing, there are more people leaning back on their picnic blankets, simply enjoying the afternoon sun. The smell of food drifts from nearby carts, and if the wind blows in the right direction, one would catch the whiff of freshly trimmed grass. Maybe I should try walking home today, to get my mind off things? To try and find the words somehow? I haven't done that in a while.
Thanks, Ash, for today.
No problem. Say hi to Rebecca for me.
Yeah, I will.
Even so, I linger. We both do. A mild humid breeze brings the smell of dried leaves, warmed earth, and a far-off distant memory. The false starts and awkward first meetings. Same place, same people, playing the same parts. Funny how, of all the days, my brain chooses to remember it now.
Wait, Belle.
Ash exits the car. He strides are unsteady when he approaches me. Or maybe this is his uncertainty showing. I'm not quite sure. He has never looked uncertain to me before. Always calm, always sure, always collected. He stops a short distance from me, close enough that he's within arm's reach, but just far enough for his voice to be heard over a distant small talk, if this is what it's going to be. He fumbles for something in his pockets.
Here, catch.
A small bag landed cleanly on my outstretched hands before it hits the ground. Aw, is that like a good luck charm? I raise an eyebrow at him, and he responds by shrugging and stuffing both hands back into his pockets. Somewhere to the side, he finds an interesting spot to look at. Sometimes you have to wait, Papa said long ago. For once, this time, I listen. His voice is halting, hesitant, when he finds it again.
My mom used to make me carry around one of those when I was young. To ward off evil and bring you luck, she said. I don't believe in this stuff now, but if it makes you feel safe since you're a total scaredy cat, then I guess it's okay to give you one to carry around.
Aw. Okay, he's definitely back in my good books again. Good. Perhaps at the moment, there aren't any words for it. I've never been good with those. Ah, fudge. I don't know what to pick here, so I want to get the good one. But right now, I could thank him the best way I know how. Okay, I'm gonna try this one. It's probably gonna be wrong. Did it go down? It went up! Yay! Close the short distance separating us. And lightly, in place of phrases one could spin together or answers too easily to seek out, I lean over. Oh! That's so cute! Oh, it's adorable! Oh my god, this is so cute! The touch is short, fleeting. Ah, I shipped them now. Dang it. The kind that speaks volumes of boundaries we don't often cross as friends. Nevertheless, the thought is there. It lingers. In the gentle autumn wind that passes, in the empty space separating us when I step back and look at him with a smile. Oh, he's so embarrassed. It's easy to express gratefulness this way, isn't it? At least, with my own family, that's the case. For the two of us, I'm not quite sure. Did he understand? After all, gratitude is considerably harder to put into words when you've spent the latter half of your friendship teetering between good-natured jests and ruffling each other's feathers. Seconds pass before he clears his throat. His face has gone remarkably red, whether from the heat or something else, I can't quite tell. He likes you, you dork! But he understands. I know he does. Because the smile on his face when he finally meets my eye is the gentlest I've ever seen him show.
I, gotta go. Got some reports I forgot to file the other day.
Yeah, see you around. Thanks for the ice cream and the charm.
Don't lose it. You won't find one here again if you do.
I won't. I might move like I have 2 left feet, but I know how to take care of my own stuff. I'm not a total klutz.
I know.
In Belle? Remember that one time? Devlin Court?
Oh, I do. With all the clarity in the world.
You... At the time, when we... What I'm trying to say is that you can rely on me if something... anything happens.
Aw.
Not the exact same thing, of course, but you get the idea. I'll be around.
I'll keep that in mind. You're not that bad after all.
Before leaving, he waves at me one last time. The next time we talk, we'll be back to the way we are before. Because at the end of the day, that's how things have always moved between us. What we're familiar with, what we're comfortable with. But for all that, it's always easy to put my own faith in him. I just hope I can keep them safe. Keep him safe. Oh, you like him. Professor Clark, Ashton Frey, and Isabella Santos met up at the coffee house to discuss the rumors surrounding the mansion. The professor warned the young woman not to take everything at face value before parting ways at the park. Ashton gave Isabella a charm that supposedly wards off evil to help her put her mind at ease. A light wind blows again, sending dried leaves swirling in the distant smell of earth into the air. For the first time, the sunlight feels less harsh. Maybe a walk is good. I need to visit the grocery too. Come to think of it, wasn't there an art store that opened recently near the park? The cat's name is Berthiel. Or at least, that's what his collar says. It's an odd name to give a cat, in my opinion, but it speaks grace, much like the one that carries it. It shows in the way he swishes his tail, and his eyes follow my hand's every movement. I'm not sure what he finds fascinating in me. To be honest, I wasn't the very picture of grace when he found me, after all. It was a bad idea carrying 2 heavy bags of newly bought art materials and groceries without help or a sure ride home. In hindsight, perhaps, I shouldn't have bought all these at the same time. I didn't even make it past the park. And now, I'm suffering under the glaring afternoon sun, hunched up on a park bench and drenched in sweat, in the company of a cat curiously watching my every movement. I hope it stays where it is. It's just a black cat, but back at home, they're considered ill omens. Oh, shush, black cats are great. I have one.
Don't look at me like that. I can act graceful as well if I want to.
Not that I've ever acted graceful in my life, of course. Growing up with rowdy younger brothers and a sister does that. Or maybe it's the opposite. Mama used to call me a little troublemaker before. Well, graceful or not, there's no use moping. A short breather and then I'm off home. Besides, it isn't like the company's bad, even if it's a cat, as long as it doesn't bite or crosses my path.
Well, where's your owner anyway?
He has one, doesn't he? An owner? That's what the collar's for, isn't it? A bandage is wrapped on one of its paws, though. I wonder what happened to it. Did he run away?
Well, if you don't have one, I won't be able to take you in. My apartment doesn't allow pets. I tried to bring one home before, a cat. Not black, of course. And Rebecca threw a fit before the landlady could.
I take a small packet of sweets from one of the bags beside me and pop it into my mouth. Aw, kitty. As I'm about to put one into my mouth, he meows. My hand stops.
Do you want one?
He doesn't meow again, as I'm expecting him to. But I take his unblinking gaze as a yes. I shift the piece into my palm, holding it out to him warily. He sniffs it once, twice, before...
Baruthia!
Like a good, properly trained pet, Berthiel responds as soon as he's called. Recognition comes as soon as my head snaps in the direction of the voice. Miss McCullough is hard to miss, what with her height.
I'm sorry. Did my cat hurt you?
No. Not
Miss
at all.
Santos, was it? I'm surprised to see you here.
Nice to meet you again, Miss McCullough.
Were you harmed in any way?
No?
I'm sorry. Baruthiel's not exactly fond of other people. Even run away from the veterinarian right now.
Oh no, he was just sniffing my hand earlier.
My Baruthiel's a she.
Oh. She? All this time I thought... The pause in conversation, if this can be called one, is uncomfortable. We're merely 2 people working different jobs for the same client. Frankly, meeting like this doesn't happen a lot, and if it does, a simple nodding of heads is enough. Still, trying to be friendly wouldn't hurt, right? Let's talk about her job.
I'm just curious about your work.
Oh wow, it shot up like crazy, jeez.
What about it?
There's something guarded in her expression at mention of work, but I pushed through with my question.
I just want to know how it is to work on a house like the Ermengarde mansion. Is it hard?
I guess she wasn't expecting a question like that. If the way her eyebrows shot up tells me something.
Because of its age? I wouldn't say it is. It is a challenge, considering the factors me and my team have to sort out. But it's a good project. A breath of fresh air from what I usually work on. And I have a good team. Those original fittings, though. It might be old, but the architecture is magnificent. I'm sure you've seen the stained glass windows in the foyer. Oh, I can already think of so many things I could do with it.
It is really impressive.
But of course, my team will have to double check for necessary repairs here and there. That's probably for the best.
True.
It's easy to break some key elements with a rush restoration job, and who knows what other hidden issues there might be underneath. People can be so careless.
Yeah, like a hidden torture chamber or something. That'd be awful.
I'm sorry, I spoke too much.
No, it's okay. You seem to really love what you're doing.
It's not really like that. I'm just lucky to have found work in an interesting field. Anyway, Bruthiel's due for her visit to the vet. Nice talking to you, Miss Santos. I wish you luck with what you're planning to work on. It seems like a big project, too.
She gestures with her head towards the bags, the ones filled with stuff I've recently bought from the art store.
It's a project for a friend, actually.
All the same, good luck.
Thanks. I watch her as she leaves, though she stops shortly before crossing the threshold separating the park and the street. She faces me again, looking like there's something she has forgotten to say.
By the way, about the Ermengarde mansion, with my clients, it's the rights, I mean.
Yeah?
I hope you don't mind me asking, but has the deal been finalized?
There's still a few papers they need, but the house is more or less theirs now.
Ah, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Wait, about the mansion. The
letter. The same one they saw. Whoever she is, she's asking for help. Someone. I want to tell Miss McCullough the urban legends aren't just legends anymore. They're real. She's not going to believe me.
Don't mind me. I need to go too. Have a good day, Miss McCullough.
I hasten to pick up all the bags I've left on the bench and ran as far as my legs can take me. In that moment, what I'm carrying in my hands weighs far lighter than the overwhelming guilt trying to consume me. Home. I want to go home. Anywhere where I won't be reminded of the house, of her, my own cowardice. The food tastes less appetizing tonight. Oh, it's a kitty! While looking after a lost cat, Isabella Santos met the interior designer Mariana McCullough by chance. She also happened to be the cat's owner. The two were having small talk before Isabella abruptly left. A pity. One would think that someone who had been on continuous binge of instant noodles would find a home-cooked meal enjoyable. But it isn't. Hunger isn't what is gnawing at me tonight. Neither are my sore muscles. The TV runs loudly in the background, but what it says barely registers in my brain. It's hard when things you're trying to forget keep returning to the forefront of your mind. It distracts you. It eats at you. Devours you. I wish this would stop. I wish I wasn't the one who picked it up. I wish it was somebody else.
In other local news, a woman was found dead in her home yesterday evening.
Oh no.
Luxbourne police officials are currently investigating the crime scene, but has classified the case as homicide.
Huh?
The victim, identified as Rose Pamela Cooper, 33 years old, working as a real estate agent.
My God. Shoot, no. Rose?
Discovered lying in a pool of blood in her two-bedroom flat with the words "Help me" repeatedly written on the walls.
Oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, okay. No. Shoot. No. No. This isn't what I want. This isn't supposed to happen. None of this is supposed to happen. No one's supposed to die. Those are just stories, right? Legends. That's what everyone had kept telling me, so why? And I... Immediately, I rushed to my study table to search for my phone. My hand, cold from dread, clings tightly as soon as I touch its edges. A piece of folded paper, the letter, lying unassumingly beside it, slips to the floor when I pick up the device. I pay no mind to it. There are more important things. Right now. Right now. I need to call her. I need to call her. I was with her. I was just with her not too long ago, and now she was... Oh, and she was okay. No. 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 It isn't Rose. I'm sure of it. I just talked to her, and a sob escapes me, and hot tears begin to blur my vision. One after another, they trickle down, weighted by the very same guilt I refuse to admit I've been carrying from the start. The same one I've been hiding from. The same one that has put the people I care about in danger. My hands shake as I navigate to Rose's number on my contacts list. She'll answer, right? That's what she always does. She'll pick it up, tell me to turn down the waterworks, and call me a wuss afterwards.
She'll answer. Please answer, Rose.
I don't think she's going to answer. She's not. Again and again, I dial. Whispering. Praying. Pleading.
Come on, Rose! Don't do this to me! Please pick up! I know you're there, Rose. You're not dead. Please tell me you're not.
This adds to the series of deaths and disappearances that has plagued Luxbourne in the recent years. The authorities are currently looking at a possible link with the notorious Anselm Butcher case.
The TV runs loudly in the background. A deafening static sounds from my phone's speakers. But in my ears, I can only hear the screams. Her pleas. Her whispers. God damn it. We are not safe. Okay, I'm just gonna finish this chapter. We're almost done. I'm gonna finish it today. A buzzing sensation jolts me awake. My body still wants to sleep, to forget what I heard, what I saw last night. News broke of Rose Cooper being found dead in her flat the evening before the authorities classified the crime as homicide, possibly linked to the notorious Anselm Butcher, a mysterious serial killer who had committed brutal murders over the years and had left their bodies with his signature phrase, "Help me." But there's nudging, prodding at me. Slowly I become aware of how awkward my position is, and the aches that accompany sleeping in a curled-up position the night before. If I even slept at all. The memories are impossible to forget now that Rose is gone. They say it's easier when you say it out loud. Instead, the words weigh heavier on me each time. She's gone. Gone because of me. Gone because of one letter I was too curious to look at. I should have been more careful. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I should have just destroyed it before anyone else had gotten involved. I should have. The notification light on my laptop blinks incessantly, mockingly, when I look at it, as if it's calling me back to the sense of normalcy. I check it, nevertheless, out of habit, more than anything. To all RBC employees, in light of the recent events, there will be an all-staff emergency meeting from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Attendance is a must. Company change is new hierarchy and policies will be discussed during the meeting. Everyone is expected to bring a copy of their own attendance logs and sales reports for the last 6 months to be submitted for your respective managers to review. We are expecting everyone's cooperation. Thank you, Jonah Alice. BRCHR. Okay. If this were one of those typical days, I'd happily comply and get myself to our office. Today my limbs just feel heavy. On one hand, going will keep me busy, take my mind somewhere else. On the other, the place in itself is a stark reminder of what my own fears have cost me. No, we are going to work. We are going to work because that is important. Go to work, because the ghost, for all you know, could end up finding you in your house. Moping won't get me anywhere. This is just like one of those things, isn't it? You deal with it with a smile, no matter how bad things get, and hope for the best. Yeah, because just sitting at home isn't going to solve anything. Although my whole body feels like lead, my limbs are sore, I push myself away from the chair and head to the shower. The letter I dropped on the floor last night flutters open as I pass by, unfolding for no one else but me to see. Every word written on it glares back at me. They sneer. They ridicule, like living beings fully aware of what they've done. With a huff, I pick it up and shove it into my bag, perhaps with more anger and frustration than I'm used to showing. This too, I'll deal with it. Somehow, I'll find a way and make things right. I have to. Before it takes more people from me. Even if I must do it on my own. Papers rustling, telephones ringing, feet shuffling. Overall, today looks like a typical work day at Briar Realty Corporation. Except it isn't. The air is thick with tension and unspoken questions. No doubt everyone present has already... Oh, I spelled already wrong. Already heard about Rose. If they missed last night's news report, they'd likely see it in the morning news, in the papers, or on various news sites on the internet. Everywhere is a bitter reminder. In fact, everyone's giving me a wide berth, as though the mere mention of Rose would be enough to trigger something in me. It's appreciated, but only serves to create a bigger hole in the place of Rose is left. After lunch, my boss calls for a meeting. I don't have to look up from my work to know what it is about. He's in a strange, pensive mood today, probably out of respect for a dead colleague. Oddly, I'd appreciate it more if he just shouted at me today. Anything is better.
I'm sure you've all heard of what happened to Miss Cooper. She was a valued member of our team and she will be missed. There's no date for a funeral yet, but those who wish to attend, kindly speak with your respective supervisors. By the way, has anyone heard about our still AWOL staff? None? HR, you know what to do. Santos, a word? In my office?
At the end of it, I've been given the entirety of Rose's workload, including finalizing the rights papers, and have been promised an ample compensation for my efforts. I think he's expecting me to be happy about it. Instead, I immerse myself in my work. I have to, anyway, if I want to forget. Isabella Santos drowned herself with work the whole day to forget about the devastating news of her mentor's death. However, she ended up stumbling upon the mysterious disappearances of her other colleagues. And just when she realized something important... Oh, crap. Ghost is here. And we've found out... Okay, so yeah. Oh, I was right. Kinda wasn't... I was anticipating me to be right, but I was also anticipating myself to be wrong. The time flies. When you do, by the time I gave notice, it's already late. Everyone's already gone home, leaving me in the company of a radio and a member of our janitorial staff. I don't even know his name. Rose likely does. She remembers people easily like that.
The Luxbourne Police Department continues its search for the following reported missing people.
Yeah, it's connected. Great. The radio blares, one name after another. Hold on a second. Missing? Aren't they? Still, I have to check. Frantic, I turn back to my desktop. The loud tapping of my fingers against the keys fills the office for the better part of my shift as I look through everything. The background about the place, its history from the current owners, and the list of employees hired under BRC. And I'm right. Of course I am. BRC may have a lot of staff. They may have a lot of agents hired, but I'd remember those names anywhere. After all, they're also part of the crew who worked with us in preparing the mansion for the open house. I freaking knew it! Then the letters... No, that can't be. I hope it's not what I'm thinking.
But Rose is...
Something snaps into place, the fraction of a moment. These people, Rose, the letter.
I need to... No, if it's like this, they still won't believe me. I have to make sure of it first.
Yeah. Evidence doesn't lie. That's what Ash often says, right? If I have proof, then maybe. I don't want to get my hopes up yet, but maybe there's still a way I can save them. The letter, my phone, papers, anything will be useful. I grab all of them and stuff them into my bag. I can't stay here. There's something I need to do. There's something those people should... A noise cuts sharply through the room, stopping my hand short of cramming a pen into my bag.
Hello? Anyone there?
Someone must have left their printer open again. Oh, it's a printer. Okay. Maybe in a hurry? But if I don't turn it off, another person is certainly going to have a fit tomorrow over wasted company resources. Most of the time, It's Rose who does the nagging, but the clicking of my pen in my hand is a welcome distraction as I search for the said object. Each stride of my feet takes also echoes throughout the empty workplace. I've lost sight of the janitor minutes ago, and with me being the only one left, the tapping of my feet against the wooden floor is something I soon learn to appreciate. It doesn't take me long to find it. By the time I turn it off, the 5 pages have already strewn about the ground, the paper tray having also been left ajar. Sighing, I pick each of it up and put someplace proper. But the page that greets me next makes my blood run cold. What? The chill that makes its way up my spine is as numbing as the day in the attic. It doesn't say, send to 5 people or else. It doesn't say send 5 people or else. So did somebody add that then? Like, this is basically a copy of the original, quote unquote, and the 5 people or else, which would be at the bottom, was added later. Because I mentioned too, it looked different. It seemed like it was added after. But this isn't good. The sheets crinkle under my tense grip. All I can hear is my breathing as it rasps through my gritted teeth. But before I can even gather myself, take the first step out of here, total darkness suddenly envelops me. Crap, you're in the office! Shit! And as if hearing every horrid thought running inside my head right now, something snaps. A soft creak, grating through the thin veil of stillness that had descended in the room. You're here. Every muscle, every bone in my body goes rigid at the sound. Familiar. So familiar now. Yet my own traitorous curiosity still presses me to take a careful peek over the cubicle's wall. It's her. I'm not taking chances with you. Standing in the only exit of the office, albeit facing away from me. She doesn't even need to turn around for me to know that it's the same misshapen face, tattered clothes, and unsettling gait. The same person in the attic. I take a step back. The pen I was holding slips from my hand, and the entire head turns. Holy shit! That's creepy! Jesus! You're creepy! A scream almost escapes my mouth, and I duck under the table as quickly as I can. No. My heart pounding hard against my chest. I can hear the bone-chilling sounds of her walk, and the weird crackling that follows her, the telltale squelch of something wet as she walks towards me. Nearer and nearer. The sounds are slowly getting louder. The only thing keeping the whimper from escaping me is my hand covering my mouth. Someone, please, save me. Anyone. I close my eyes, muttering a continuous stream of prayers, all the while attempting to steady my own breathing. Please, please don't let her near me. Oh, shit. Ah!
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
When the last lines of my prayer have left me, all that remains is a hush. Yeah, she's there. I screwed up the QTE. None of her footsteps, nor those chilling sounds she makes. Only silence. Is it safe? Another second passes, and when nothing comes... What? Hi. You're praying. That's actually creepy. Well. Shit. The seconds, minutes stretch out before me agonizingly. Is she gone? Slowly, I open my eyes to take a peek. don't dare move or make a noise. In the face of such terror, I can only beg, let out a silent pleas to whoever is out there. Please, please don't let her notice. I want to live. Oh! Well! I'm gonna call it there. Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Oh, it's profile. It's Hanna. I'll do that later. But yeah, we just finished Isabella's story. Holy biscuits. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. Well, I mean, we got some answers about the missing BRC guys, but still more questions to come. Anyway, guys, this has been Cat Demon 43, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of The Letter, and I hope you will enjoy more that is to come. I'll see you guys all later. Bye! Yeah, she's praying. Weird.